My name is Kevin Martin, and I am here today with Jennifer Russo. We're here to talk about the Concord Vineyard Improvement Program. Talked about this in the past. We want to give you a little bit of an update and go through some frequently asked questions we've heard from growers. If you have any other questions, please let us know. We do want to get this rolled out to interested growers as fast and as quickly as we can.
So some of the questions that we have received are who's paying for this and why?
So this funding is coming from some economic development funding that was allocated by region. So this is the Southern Tier Economic Development Program, and each region gets their own source of funding for that. And Ag and Markets was sort of tasked with managing some of that funding and has directed it toward Concord Vineyard Improvement. So some of the basics of that program are outlined on our website and through some of the earlier podcasts, but that's basically where the money comes from.
Okay, well, why? Why are we doing it? What is the importance of doing it?
So just kind of as a reminder, or if you weren't there, we had the Concord Summit, and one of the key issues that was identified as a problem was because we had such a long period of low Concord prices and low commodity prices in general, we were starting to see some declining vineyards and abandoned vineyards, and they were starting to create disease inoculum for neighboring vineyards, and also problems for existing growers that maybe had just a little bit too much acreage in terms of what they were able to market. So they were either effectively abandoned or partially abandoned, and it was just becoming a difficult thing for them to manage. Mm-hmm. So the idea is to get those vineyards out of the ground and into something productive in agriculture again.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you. So let's say that I am a grower and I have some abandoned vines, Concord vines. What is my next step? Like, what do I just rip them out? Can I turn it into grassland? Why?
Well, the first thing you'd want to do is let us know. You can go to LERGP.com and fill out an application, and that'll at least get you on our radar. If you want to complete that application, there's some attachments that you've got to make, but you really do want to let us know that you've got a project that you're thinking about. And then where we go from there is we would approve the project as long as everything looked good, and do a site visit to make sure you had some Concord vineyards that needed removal, and particularly what is the size of that project. So we do some GIS mapping with the help of Kim Knappenberger, and we go from there in terms of what the budget's going to look like, and after that you can start ripping stuff out.
So I have 3 rows next to my house and I want to put in a vegetable garden for my family. Does that work?
Sure, just not for this program. You're more than welcome to rip those out, and probably the vineyard down the road would be happy if you did, if you're just abandoning those 20 vines or so. But what we do need is a minimum of 1 acre in size to participate.
What can I put in its place?
Well, in one sense, you can do whatever you want. We do need it to be ready for agricultural production, which basically means a cover crop. The program doesn't pay for the installation of that cover crop. So if you do choose to install a perennial crop like tree fruit or grapes or even Concord grapes, there is funding available for the installation of a perennial crop like that.
Also like blueberries or strawberries or?
Yes.
Oh, good. What counties are involved? Is it the whole state? Is it just Chautauqua County?
So there was some funding that was found outside of the Southern Tier, which will fund Niagara County, New York, and Erie County. And other than that, every county, you can go on the website and look to see if your county's included. But we do extend out into the Finger Lakes, but all of the counties that are included basically touch Pennsylvania. So if your county touches Pennsylvania and you're not so far east that you are pretty much getting towards downstate from our perspective here, you're probably included.
Oh, nice. I have abandoned vineyards. I need to go after this. I want to sign up. What's my first step? Call you guys, come and visit. Is there, the website?
You're more than welcome to call us, but you can apply without talking to a person if you'd like to at LERGP.com, and there's a big button in the middle of the page that says Vineyard Improvement Program. You can click that, and that'll take you to an application that you can fill out online. But certainly, you're more than welcome to call us with questions. You are eligible to receive up to $3,000. We haven't seen anything that large yet. $1,500 of that is allocated towards removal, and $1,500 is allocated towards replant. It's difficult to spend enough to maximize the removal portion of the project, so we see projects in the area of reimbursement of $500 to $1,000. It's a 50% match, so you'd actually have to spend $2,000 to get the $1,000. And then on the replant side, it's a 25% match, so you're actually going to have to spend $4,000 to get $1,000. And actually on that side, we usually see people maxing that out at the $1,500. They're spending quite a bit per acre to replant to a perennial system. So far, everything's grapes, but all perennial crops are relatively expensive, so we do see them maxing out that side of the program.
So after I do all of this, how long does it take me to get paid? I'm sure there has to be some sort of checks and balances in place to make sure I've done the work.
Yeah, so we'll do a site visit at the end of the project, and for you, that'll basically mean when you've done the replant, we will come out and make sure it's all replanted, and then we'll probably do another site visit if there's time to make sure everything's been trained up and cared for, so we can get some nice pictures to do some success stories and reporting on what this project's doing for the region. And then the actual administration of the finance is actually through Chautauqua County, so turnaround on payment at the completion of the project will probably be relatively quick. But it is important to keep in mind that throughout the course of the project, it will be financed by the grower. So it would probably be a year or more than a year from the time the grower spends the first dollar to the time they get reimbursed.
It sounds like a great program.
If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call about the Concord Vineyard Improvement Program or anything. And you can always comment down below if you're on our YouTube channel as well. Thanks a lot for being with us today.
Thanks.